And welcome to Tantasy TV 2014, new year of Fantasy Rugby League. I'm Mark Smashing Mallard.
Mike, Bombay Night Stalkers, Keys.
We're Fantasy Rugby League players that have decided to tell you a bit about our seasons, our comps, and give you a bit of information about your different Fantasy Rugby League players. And just have a bit of a laugh with you really here.
Yep.
Now, Tantasy. Why are we called Tantasy TV, Mike?
Well, I think we came up with it being it's Fantasy Rugby League. Got a few boys, big boys at that. And a few of them don't like to lose through what we call a tanty, and of course we put the two together, and that's where we came up with Tantasy Rugby League.
So Tantasy TV then follows on. Now we play the NRL CEO site. For our league we've got trophies, draft nights, rules nights, prize giving's a huge night. Included a broken ankle from the drunkenness of last year.
Yes. Talking about trophies, a few of the boys actually put up on Facebook of the other leagues that are actually available, and some of their trophies are fucking amazing. They really are.
That's on NRL CEO Facebook. So NRL CEO, like them on Facebook, and you'll see some of that. The NRL CEO site's actually not for playing league this year. There'll be no actual comp on there this year. It'll solely be on the bench. CEO had some problems with their engine.
Just a fucking few.
Heaps really. Didn't they?
At the worst time of the season.
Yeah.
Finals, football.
So they partnered with the bench to try and get all those problems sorted out.
Does that mean we're logging into the bench?
Yeah, and while you log into NRL CEO to see people like us and other articles about Fantasy Rugby League.
And then it links to the bench.
Yeah, there'll be a link there to the bench, and you'll be able to sign in and get your teams running from the bench. I believe it's costing this year, but I think the bench guys are going to hopefully hook us up with a league so we can talk about the bench.
Quite willing to pay $10 if they can follow all the way through without a problem.
Oh, look, we'd pay anyway, no problems. But you know,
how much?
$10, I think it is a player. I think, but that'll all be on the site and all very secure and some really great features.
And of course, we play with sort of 8 to 10 players in our league, which is just a private league that we play. We put X amount of money in, and X is one at the end.
Basically, yes. We'd have a little prize pool. It's a good laugh. Some of the money goes to prize giving for our trophy. As you said, there's some amazing trophies there on that site. I was reading about in America, different leagues, and tell us, make a note of what your trophies are. But in the league in America, the loser of the league has to have a tattoo of whatever the person who wins the league picks.
You picture a rusty packer on your arm. What do you reckon?
Oh, yeah.
Or not.
Wow. One had Justin Bieber. Miley Cyrus was this year's one.
I'll go with the Miley Cyrus one. That'd be alright. Wrecking Ball.
Oh, Wrecking Ball. Have a look. Anyway, Google it. Fantasy Football Tattoo League, and it's all up there about them.
Just talking about fantasy leagues, played a bit of Dream Team last year. I mean, this TV is not predominantly around NRL CEO or just our league, but the suggestions and some of the things we talk about can be sort of related to any fantasy league.
Yeah, definitely.
Played Dream Team last year. We've been playing our league for 8 years, so played a bit of Dream Team. Wasn't sold on it. It was good. It was lots and lots of points. Seems really great, but I think the more points you get, the more points difference you have between two teams.
Yeah.
And I think the how we do ours, which is it's fairly relative. The closeness can be 1 or 2 points, which can make all the difference, and that makes the old Monday night a bit of a nervous one.
And it means that you've only got that player. I mean, any of the leagues that offer you just have the one person in the league has that player as a step up. A lot of different sites do it. Some do it with salary caps, which are interesting. We played a salary cap league and managed to snare Israel Folau for $1 million. It
was a $4 million salary cap. I mean, shit.
Yeah, he threw it all on Israel and still won the league, amazingly enough.
So that's 1 championship to me, 2 championships to me, 1 to Joel Trolster Booth, 2 to Joel. You see where I'm going with this? 2 Trolster, 3 to Trolster, 1 to his wife. Mark?
No, none for me.
No, none for you, none for you. Not just yet. We'll just scribble that out. We'll bring that up another time. Carry on.
There we go. Now, Tantasy TV team rundown. Going through the teams, starting with the Broncos. Can't start any true Tennessee talk without, when you're talking about the Broncos, without mentioning the new recruit,
Ben Barber.
Benny. Will he be able to bounce back from last year?
Second, well, I would say it takes any player a little bit of time to settle with a new team. I mean, you've seen that in the last couple of years, guys moving to teams, and I mean, it takes them a little while just to really fit in. I think Barber's going to be really, he's going to hit his straps maybe just before State of Origin, but as for a pickup.
It's a good place for a player to be coming on too, because moving into finals, that's when you want your players performing at the end of the season.
Exactly.
Don't think he's going to break into the Queensland team, so going to give you that cover during that period too.
Yeah, definitely. And not the same for possibly the new captain, Parker.
Corey Parker, yeah, he's going to get a lot of work, a lot of minutes. Is he going to kick? Is he going to take that away just to give him a bit of a rest, more of a rest? I don't know.
Some of these guys love playing with all the responsibility. Captain, kicking, and one of the, I'd say, dominant tacklers in that team. But on top of that, Sammy Thaiday might actually step up and be better than last year. Not saying it was bad, but he might actually have less pressure on his shoulders and might come through with Parker.
Yeah, definitely both of those guys good to look at. Parker, very, very early round poke. Barber, what rounds are you looking for him?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Right in that round, I think you're going to be happy with him if you get him. He'll go very early in some drafts. If you see him dropping, definitely one I'd pick up. You see him dropping a couple of rounds, definitely get him in your team.
Moving on to the Bulldogs. I've written down 3 names here: Tolman, Graham, and Inu. Tolman and Graham, I think they speak for themselves.
Yeah, first two dominant forwards, get the meters, do it every week. Pretty good with injuries. Good to have in your team. Nice to see those names in your forward pack.
For sure. 3 letters.
I know. Christian, we had him here. He went over to the Bulldogs, and when he went over there, he just looked fantastic. Took on the responsibility of goal kicking for them. The goal kicking, I think, adds to his game. So if he's the goal kicker, if he beats out Hodgkinson at the start of the season, good player. A lot of question marks and a lot of weeks where you will get 0 from him.
Talented footballer.
But how many weeks are you going to get 0? You know, there will be the 0 weeks, rocks and diamonds.
Talking about rocks and diamonds, moving on to the Raiders. It's definitely a rocks and diamonds sort of team. 2 of their players we've written down as Milford and Fenson. Milford, lightning on his feet. Very, very talented football player.
Sets up tries and scores them.
Second year.
That's the question. You know, probably after last year's performance, you'd probably be looking at him in the first couple of rounds. But second year, without having that experience with him, probably going to drop a few rounds. He'll be one of those guys you'll get on draft night, and will you on finals night be stoked to have him in your winning team. He could do that for you, but also could not.
Mr. Fenson, Mr. Bandage himself. Tackling demon.
He's on fire, that man, with tackles. Yeah. I mean, if your offensive stats rewarded leagues, he's not going to be great. And that's your big question. If you just want a guy that's going to get you tackles, he will do it every week and puts on another bandage every week and gets out there again and plays. Just does the meter. It doesn't do the offense.
Yeah, very true. Moving on to the Sharks. I mean, who better up front? Gallen for Fafita. That's if Gallen does play up front. I mean, between the two of them.
I don't know how the stats would go round with those two last year. I thought that they were going to eat each other's stats a lot, and they didn't.
We'll discuss that, and I think we agree with you. But with them, Lewis, they seem to do enough to be able to get their forward tries. I mean, Gallen's still doing his 200 metres a game.
Gallen's question is always, will he perform after Origin? State of Origin, does it kill him? He goes so hard in Origin, and then he has some trouble when he comes back from Origin, really. Fafita, good all season, but is he going to break down after World Cups, Origins, all that sort of stuff? Gone injury free pretty much last year. Will he do it again? And then last one is one of their backs. Got to talk about the backs as well.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah, is he going to kick? Got a good kicker in Carney, but I think you've got to give Carney a good player to have. Good six to have. Sixes are hard to find. If he's kicking, he's a really valuable player. But without the kicking and Gordon kicking, I think he's a good player to pick up. Very reliable in the number of stats he gets. And number of kicks he's getting percentage-wise is awesome.
There's something that you just touched on just then. Carney and Gordon, both kickers, both for the same team. If you can build your team around having a kicker and you pick up both those players, you're covering yourself.
It's called a handcuff. So what you do is you handcuff that player. So if you pick up, say, 2 or 3 of the kickers from the same team, if you've got only 10 points, you're guaranteed to have a kicker every week that team plays.
No matter who it is.
Yeah, and that's you can handcuff those players because the points will add up and allow you to do that. It means you'll have a kicker every week. So quite sensible to do is have both Carney and Gordon if you can get them in those rounds you like, you know.
Kind of also like picking up a centre and a wing.
Yeah, well, like you team up the likes of the Manly side with
Jamie Lyon on one side, and then whoever's outside him.
Yep.
They seem to go that strength on
Wolfman.
the right hand side. Pick up Glenn Stewart as well, and you've got that. You've always got that try assist. You've always got that line break, and generally always got that try.
We're just going to have a little break now and come back to you shortly with a few more of the teams. And back to our team review. Titans. Quickly with the Titans.
Miles and Kelly, mate. Miles and Kelly, Nate Miles, Origin legend, even though I'm a Blues supporter.
Gets the stats, gets the meters, great player. Forward, front row, back row normally, so you can play him in both positions, which adds to your forward pack because you've got that flexibility when you need him. Great player.
Within 3.
Yeah. Kelly.
Within 3.
Kelly.
Even if you miss him for 3 weeks in State of Origin, within 3.
Yeah. Kelly.
Oh, last year, Dynamite started the season, most of the way through the season. Died off a little bit towards the end, but definitely one of those players to watch. Hopefully their second year real, full-time position won't really kick him, but...
young, quick guy,
yeah.
Does the moves, reminds me of Sean Johnson, needs an organiser outside him, could be good.
Yeah.
Next on the list, Sea Eagles. We talked briefly about the Sea Eagles before. Nice to take one of their sides because they ball play really well through their backs and get a lot of try assists with tries, so you can team up them. Talking the Stewarts, both of them are very good at that.
You pick up both of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've told you a bit about Manly, but Brendan Lawrence, one of the
Pick up of last year.
Yeah.
Picked him up last year.
Stats all year. Like no one had him, and he just did well. They've lost Brent Kite, so they're still needing the forward minutes out of him. Good pickup.
Melbourne Storm. We're talking about the big 3. We're talking Cameron Smith, Slater, and Cronk. You can't...
All good picks, but all good picks. What round you can get them in, that's the question. Smith is good, plays the whole season. We'll miss a little bit around Origin. We'll have a couple of short games, but usually back by the time the finals are sort of starting in our
Slater
league.
and Cronk, same.
Slater and Cronk, never going to have a problem with those. But man running, new to the team, running off those 3, Travis Robinson.
Quick, mate. Very quick.
Showed his pace last year. If he is there to finish, he could be a late round pickup. That's going to be, if he plays all the games.
And if he's playing on one of those wings, mate, I'll be definitely putting some money in there, and I'll be definitely putting him to go in the first 5 rounds if he's going to be one of their...
He will not go on those rounds. He might next year. He will not go on those rounds this year. But
he will now that you've talked about him, because I might pick him up.
Well, you might do, hopefully not. But if you go later in the rounds with him, he's one of those guys. They've got 4 good wingers. They've got Duffy, they've got Sisawaka, O'Neill. So they've got a lot of pace. Will he play? That's why I don't think you can pick him up in the first 5 rounds. But if you see him available in your league, or you're getting down and you're wanting a flyer, play him outside the big 3. I mean, I'd always want to play a player outside the big 3.
Moving on to the Knights. I'd say Packer would... Yeah.
Russ, where are you picking him in the draft?
Gidley.
Yeah. On to Gidley. Playing hooker this year, they say. Can he last a season at hooker? That's your question? That's my only question with
And
Kirk.
can his body actually handle up to the to playing at 9 for
or the whole season?
The whole season. That's
and
right.
how many games does he play?
Do you see him in State of Origin? Oh, I don't think you'll see him there. I think the season will be.
I just think he plays for New South Wales, so who really cares? They can play anyone. They're going to lose. Next team there, mate. Anyone else? Oh, sorry. A Queenslander.
We
can
were
talk about a
going
Queenslander.
to talk about Darius Boyd.
We're talking about a Queenslander now.
I think you might have to go fuck yourself on that one. We might just move on to another team.
Darius Boyd, silent on stats some years, good on others. Can he perform? Same setup for a couple of years there, so hopefully he'll perform. Was later in the season last year.
Cowboys.
Don't go past Thurston in that team. That team starts, finishes with Jonathan Thurston. Got a good front rowers in Matt Scott and James Tarmo, but Thurston decides that team.
Yeah.
New signing for this year?
Lachlan Coote.
Lachlan Coote is looking pretty good actually, really.
I reckon he's going to be hungry. Back from injury. I think he's. Matty Bowen was the steal at the back there.
Yep.
I think Coote adds a little bit extra.
Will he add that more? What's he going to do? Is he going to get on? He's got the burst. Is it all back from the injuries? Probably an eighth to lower round pickup if you're seeing fullbacks gone in your league, or if you're seeing him later than there, he's a good pickup in my book. Thurston, rocks or diamonds, will score 34 points one week and score 4 the next. Great player, but I like him in Origin. He plays well for Australia, but some games he seems to take off for North Queensland. That's my biggest question for him in terms of fantasy player. But yeah.